So it finally happened, Raider Nation. The Raiders have officially fired Luke Getsy. All of our dreams and all of our wishes came true other than having a great season. At least we got something to kind of cheer for. And it's kind of sad, honestly, as Raider fans, as a Raider fan, that we're celebrating a firing and not celebrating wins, because that's what we've come to. That's what this team has come to. And it's just been a sad, sad year so far. But hey, we got something that we wanted. But surprisingly, this news comes just days after AP told everybody that Luke Getsy was going to stay the offensive coordinator for the Las Vegas Raiders.
And also, like I told our staff and I told our players, it's all of us. It's easy to sit here and just point the finger at Luke or myself. It does start with the coordinator. He's got to be the one that takes the fall for that and gets most of the blame, but it is collective.
Are you comfortable moving forward with him just remaining as the play caller?
Yeah.
Now, he wasn't the only one that got the boot, because according to Tom Pelissero, the Raiders have also fired offensive coach James Craig and quarterbacks coach Rich Scangarello. I hope I got that right. I mean, it does make sense, right? The offense have looked horrible this whole season. We've seen it. Everybody's seen it. We watched it. We had to suffer all these weeks for what, 7-8 weeks so far, seeing how bad this offense has looked. And these are the guys that are responsible for it, mainly the offense coordinator. Our offensive line has looked horrible. The quarterback has looked horrible. It's nothing new. So it makes sense that we had to let go of these guys. It just kind of boggles my mind that this is all of their first seasons with the Raiders, and just 9 weeks in, we fire them. What does that say about our team? What does that say about our organization? What does that say about our head coach and our GM, the guys that brought these guys on, just to fire them just weeks after the season has started? Like I've stated before, this goes back to AP, to Tom Telesco, bringing these guys in, bringing the wrong guys in. And just after last season, the end of the season, going 5-4 to end off that season, you would think that they would bring in some guys that would, coincide with what we got going on, that goes with the vision that, AP is putting on this team. But the fact that they bring these guys in and the offense looks just worse off than they ever have under Josh McDaniels says something about this coaching staff. And right now, I just feel like AP and this coaching staff is kind of scrambling all over the place right now, trying to figure things out, trying to figure out what the identity is going to be. I said it in the last video. This team has no identity, and the offense has been the weak link for this team this season. Of course, Luke Getsy was going to be the fall guy, and his jabronis over here, James and Rich, they were going to be the guys that were going to take the fall. But the big question for me is, what happens next? What is going to be the next move? Is the offense going to be better? Just because we fired these guys and we wanted these guys fired, does this mean that the team is going to turn around and start winning games? I don't know, but I highly doubt that this is a fix. This is just a band-aid right now, and there's still a lot of things that got to be situated and got to be figured out. Now, I know that the Raider Nation is all excited about this move. I was as well. I mean, this team has been horrible. Somebody had to take the fall, especially going into the bye week. I thought it would happen on Halloween Day like it did last year, but we had to wait a couple more days. This team has been an embarrassment, and I said it over and over again. We've lost 5 straight games. We're 2-7 right now. The offense looked horrible. We've had so many turnovers. We struggled in the red zone when we shouldn't have. There was so many opportunities that we could have scored, but this offense just couldn't figure things out. And the play calling on top of that did not help. We are one of the worst offenses, if not the worst offense in the league today, because of this guy and because of this coaching staff. So I'm hoping that these firings can spark something in this offense, hopefully light a fire under everybody's asses, especially AP's, to do something moving forward. Now, another question that a lot of people are asking themselves is, who's going to be the next offense coordinator to step in and take over those roles? Because at this point, nothing is worse than what Luke Getsy was doing over here for the past couple of weeks. Luckily enough for the Raiders, we do have 3 former play callers on the staff right now. We got past game coordinator Scott Turner, we got receivers coach Edgar Bennett, and we got senior offensive assistant Joe Philbin. Now, Scott Turner seems to be the guy that everybody's talking about, the guy that everybody believes should take over as the interim offense coordinator. He was an offensive play caller for the Commanders from 2020 to 2023 before coming over here to Las Vegas. I do believe that the offense will be better moving forward, but that's not saying much, because I felt like Luke Getsy set that bar really, really low. I just kind of wish that we could have just kept Bo Hardegree as the offensive coordinator. I know he was a first-time offensive coordinator last year, but damn, for a first-time offensive play caller, he did a much better job than Luke Getsy ever did this season. I'm just kind of surprised that we didn't go in that direction. But again, we all thought we were going to get Cliff Kingsbury over here with the Raiders, and he backed out because we couldn't give him a 3rd year. And right now that's kind of biting us in the ass. And looking at how good the Commanders are looking right now with the quarterback that we should have had in a draft, man, just makes me really wish, like, damn, That could have been us, man. They got our quarterback, Jaden Daniels, and they got our offensive coordinator. Man, you guys know my stance on AP. Of course, I am one of those fans that was okay with him coming over here. I was down to have him over here because I felt like he had this team in the palm of his hands, and there's not a lot of people that could question it. Yes, there's other fans that said we could have went a different direction, and yes, we could have. But at the time, with the energy that we had, with the vibes and everything, and how the team was looking at the end of the season last year, I didn't really question us getting AP as the next head coach. But if we're going to keep AP moving forward, and I've said this before, and I'm going to say it again, and I'm going to say it over and over and over and over again. If AP does keep his job over here at the end of the season, no matter how the season goes, he has definitely got to surround himself with the right coaching staff, because the coaching staff that he hired this year has not looked good thus far, especially on the offensive side of the ball. And you look at it right now, we fired 3 offensive coaches on this roster right now, 3 coaches that were brought in under this AP and Tom Telesco era. And I know a lot of people are going to say that, this is not AP's fault for bringing in Lou Getsy. He is part of that problem because he is the head coach, and he does have a say in who the offensive coordinator is going to be, who the defensive coordinator is going to be, who his quarterback is going to be, so on and so forth. If he wants to keep his job, if he wants to be the guy for the future moving forward, he has got to surround himself with the right pieces and not just hire these guys and hope for the best. And you cannot go into the season with a quarterback like Gardner Minshew or AOC and expect us to be contenders, because damn, it did not work out. And right now, looking at how Gardner Minshew has been playing this season really saddens me, man. Now, I know that he's been doing bad, but you can see that just the joy of playing football has been sucked out of him. Pause. He does not look like the Gardner Minshew that we've seen for the past couple of years playing for the Colts with his Pro Bowl season, playing for the Jags, playing for the Eagles. He just looked depleted. He doesn't look like he's having fun out there. Shit, nobody's having fun. Us Raider fans aren't having fun. But outside of the Gardner Minshew thing, quarterback situation has got to be better. And that's going to be another decision moving forward, is who's going to be that quarterback. Will it be Gardner Minshew? Will it be Desmond Ridder? I honestly don't know, and I don't think that the Raiders are going to do much this season. Now, fast forward to today, this morning, AP addressed the media and stated that this decision to fire Lou Getsy and the rest of these jabronis was his 100%. And also, he's going to take the next 24 to 48 hours to figure out who Lou Getsy's replacement is going to be and who the starting quarterback will be for us going into Miami after the bye week.
Just performance results and production just wasn't heading the direction I wanted it to go. And I'll use the next 24 to 48 hours to sit down with the staff and figure out who's going to call the offense going forward. 100% my decision. I just want to see is, man, look, like I always talked about, us looking right, sounding right, matching the philosophy and idea of what I preach, which is, physicality, ability to run the ball, taking shots down the field, protecting the football first and foremost, disciplined up front. What we're going to do going forward, we got to do what we have. Obviously, we're dealing with injuries. A lot of new players are in and out of the lineup. We got to do what's best and gives us the best opportunity to win, whatever that may be. If it's throwing the ball 60 times, fine. If it's running it 60 times, fine. But we got to find a balance and an identity on offense going forward.
Now, after watching this video, you can definitely tell that AP is just all over the place right now. He's on the hot seat for sure, and he's just trying to figure something out. He's scrambling, trying to find answers. But the thing that really, frustrates me is that it seems like almost every other week he's trying to figure out who's going to be the quarterback, who's going to do this, what we're going to do. He doesn't have answers for anything. And yes, it does take time, but you look at this season with Gardner Minshew. He was announced the starter going into the season. He got pulled out. He got benched. Then he got put back in, and then he got benched yet again against the Cincinnati Bengals. And, we brought in Desmond Ridder. Now there's questions floating around about that. I do believe that firing Lou Getsy was the right move for the Raiders. But, of course, the biggest question is going to be, how does this affect the team moving forward? Quarterback is still going to be that ongoing, lingering question moving forward for the rest of the season. And this team just has no identity. But good thing for the Raiders, we're going into a bye week, and hopefully AP can figure things out. Hopefully we can turn things around.
You sure about that?
Now, this whole thing could possibly be a good move for the Raiders, or it could possibly bite the Raiders in the ass, because looking at the state of the Raiders right now, we are sitting at 2-7 with no hopes of making the playoffs unless something happens and, a miracle happens and we go on an undefeated streak and squeeze ourselves in the playoffs. I don't see the Raiders making the playoffs at all. I do believe that the offense could be a little bit better right now, and we could possibly win some games. but at what cost? A lot of Raider fans are hoping for a #1 pick or a top 5, top 3 pick, but if we win a couple of meaningless games, what does that mean for the Raiders? At that point, we're only winning games for pride and possibly keeping AP around. But that's a question I want to ask you guys, Raider Nation, is one, how do you guys feel about this move, firing Lou Getsy and the rest of these other coaches? And two, do you guys feel like the Raiders should continue to lose out so we could get a top pick in the draft, or would you guys just rather go out and win with our heads held up high for the rest of the season? I'm never gonna say that I want the Raiders to lose, but damn, a top pick would look good right now. Of course, let me know your guys' thoughts down in the comments below, and until the next video, this is your boy Some More Raider and your boys, yeah.